morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is the interview. And today on the show we have Miss Stephanie Paige, all the way from Melbourne, Australia, just down the road from me. We're going to kick off with one of her tracks called Mask. Ready to Ode? Let's Ode, baby. Hello, welcome to the show. My name is Jade, and this is the interview. And I hope you're doing okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Friday morning here. Very exciting because my guest is also in the same state as me. So it's the same time. Somebody else has to get up at the ridiculous hour of 8 a.m. with me, and that is today's guest. Where's my maniacal reverb? It's not working, damn. Maybe this one? Whoop. The joke didn't work. All right, what's going on, folks? You're all doing well. We have our interview. You know, this is my favorite time of the week. I get to hang out and chat with somebody I don't really know that well, and I've heard their music and get to find out more and get to dig in and rip apart their carcass and find out what's inside. That's what we do here. We eat carcasses. No, that's not what we do here, but I'll tell you what we do. Not do, because today's show is sponsored by our good friends at DistroKid. DistroKid can help you release your best music, and it's very easy to do so. You just sign up for the very, very low price of $24.99 annually, and you can release as many songs as you like. It's completely up to you. There is no limit. Just go release stuff, and you can have a ball. You get to release your music across all of the streaming services, all the majors, all the ones you've never heard of, Apple, Spotify, all of those major places. Plus, you get, as I said, unlimited songs, lyrics, Spotify checkmark, royalty splits, mobile app access, and a whole bunch of free promotional tools to get your music out to many, many people. If you use my code, which is distrokid.com/VIP/Jade, you'll get 7% off your first year, and that's cool. I've been using DistroKid since I switched in 2016, way before they decided to sponsor me here on this channel, and I can't complain. I've released so much music, it is ridiculous, and I need to release some more. Just to give you an idea of how much music I have released, let's look at them. Look at all these releases. It is just a cavalcade of stuff across multiple bands. There we go. So thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring the show yet again. We'll hear a little bit more from DistroKid as we progress. And as always, I love you, DistroKid. Anyway, all right. Let's bring on our guest. So the first time I heard this guest was on Tom's Christ Show. Thomas, who plays heaps of brand new music and old music, all us oldies that have been here for a long time. He plays heaps of cool music, and I happened to see this artist on Thomas's show and thought, you know what, let's get her on and have a chat. She's an Aussie, she's into wrestling, and she's a great musician. So without further ado, let's bring her on. It is Miss Stephanie Paige. Have I got all the buttons right? Let's bring her on right now. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Up nice and early. How's that going for you?
Yeah, I'm used to being a night owl, so
bloody musicians.
but I got up for you.
Thank you so much. I'm very appreciative of you getting up. And let's get. So you're in Melbourne, yeah? Have you always been in Melbourne?
No, I come from, do you know Gippsland?
I sure do.
Traralgon. I
Yes.
was born there.
Traralgon, wow.
Yes. I couldn't wait to escape.
Me, I was out west, but then most of my time was Bacchus Marsh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's just as, it's just as Traralgon-y, I guess.
Yeah, it's like if you want to do things creatively, you've got to find a way to get out of that.
Yeah, I remember being in Bacchus Marsh and hanging out with a whole lot of my friends, skateboarders, and, we're all punks and metalheads.
Yeah.
And if you were that in a country town back then, you just got your head punched in all the time from all the yobbos,
right?
Because yobbos need a place to go drink on the weekend and punch Sharon in the head. They do.
Exactly. And you were probably like the same. I always felt like a misfit. I never felt like I fitted in there. I didn't meet very many creative people, and I was just like, if I want to do what I want to do, I've got to try and get to the city and be around more like-minded people and create. And I'm glad I'm here now.
So did you find those creative people when you moved to Melbourne?
I did for a little while, but I've always, I don't know, it's kind of hard with music. I felt like it was either acoustic or death metal. There wasn't any in between. And I'm like, I want to rock on stage, but I don't want to be screaming my lungs out.
Yeah, of
And
course.
then on the other side, people wanted to play music that was like, I love folk and acoustic, but I still feel I would rather be in a band. I feel like that's where I should be and performing, and that's more my love. But I love the folky acoustic side for songwriting. But yeah, I've always have struggled to find musicians that want to play the style of music I want to play. And I did play for a little while, but then I kind of, played some gigs and festivals, but then I kind of, they went their own ways doing other stuff. Yeah.
So how long? Well, let's get into the main questions.
hmm
Stephanie, what does music mean to you?
Um, I think it's pretty much a big part of my identity. I think that it's like when I'm not playing music, if I'm either not listening to it, if I have a break songwriting, then I think that like I will feel off. Like there's something off about how I feel. I don't quite feel like me. And then when I get back into it, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel like me again. And like to me, like it's funny, you grow up loving all these bands, right? And you feel like you know them, you don't know them, but you feel like you do. And they have such an impact on us. And I think that's also their words, what they're singing, you can relate to it. It's like a comfort to you, it's connected to our emotions, our experiences. And it's like it makes you music kind of to me makes me feel understood. And
I like that.
yeah. Mm.
I like that because, I mean, at the end of the day, we're living in a world at the moment where people have taken the word empathy and turned it into woke, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so horrible to like give a shit. Like instead, I think people just want you to be mean and horrible,
Yes,
and
yes.
people always want you to elaborate, and it's kind of hard to elaborate on how you see the world because without just saying the world's a bag of shit. With music, you just get to like say it and make people
Yeah,
feel something.
exactly, right.
What's interesting about music, like I'd like to hear your opinion on this. I mean, you're not incredibly old, I don't think. I don't, but I remember being a kid
hmm
of the '70s, and music was really instrumental in changing the way the society was going. Because we
Yes.
had Vietnam, the Vietnam
hmm
War was going, and music, Woodstock, and all these things happened, and music kind of brought people back together. Do you think music has the same effect on people in this era?
No, I was born in the 80s, and I I'm a big like to me I'm very punk rock at heart, and to me that's about being authentic, having a message, um being a little rebellious. And I feel like music isn't like that anymore. It's very safe. It's people aren't up on stage, jumping around, going crazy. There, there's the I know there's they had a message. Like today, there's just like I don't know. I'm not a fan of the pop world
The
these
pop.
days.
The pop, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's just to me, it's just sound, if that makes sense. Rather than music, it's just a sound.
It's just a sound. And sometimes it's a terrible sound.
Yeah, a terrible.
When you were growing up in Terrelgan, do you remember the
Mhm.
music that your parents used to play around the house? And who were some of the artists? And which ones did you hate? And which ones did you like?
Yeah, I remember the good. Well, my grandma used to play a lot of like jazz and like Dean Martin and
Oh, wow, the Rat Pack. Oh.
yeah, the Rat Pack,
Woohoo.
that sort of stuff. And then my mom was, we laugh. I call her. She says she was a teeny bopper. She loved all the pop disco stuff, which she loved Olivia Newton-John. Who I love Olivia
Yeah.
Newton-John. Yeah, I love Olivia Newton-John, but her music was not my thing.
No, no, I'm the same. But I grew up in a
Yeah.
house with my mum listening to Olivia Newton John every
hmm
fucking day, every day. And I grew to love
Same
her.
here.
You know,
hmm
I don't, the music's not my thing, but Every time I hear one of her songs, I just break into song. I can't help singing it.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got to love Grease, right?
Well, yeah. Do you like Grease too?
Yeah, I love Grease, but she played more like the Xanadu's and all that.
Right, but have you seen Grease Part 2?
Oh yes, with I think her
Michelle
name's
Pfeiffer.
Stephanie in that
Yeah,
actually.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah,
See, I
I
like that one
remember it
better. I
vaguely.
like that one better
Yeah.
for some reason, but hey, it is what it is. Just Chad Freeman says, I know Miss Stephanie from her Thriller cover.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
my Michael Jackson cover.
Chad
That's
loves
right.
Michael Jackson. He's said
Oh,
it.
me too. Me
He's
too.
he was on a stream once, and I remember him saying, if he loves Michael Jackson, if only when he was younger he could have got to sit on Michael's lap, would have been awesome. Isn't that right, Chad? Sorry.
Man, that's funny.
He's gonna kill me for that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Also growing up, yeah, I was like into like I loved all the guys that wore makeup. Like I loved Adam and the Ants, Culture Club. Um, then I loved like glam rock, Poison. Like that's all the stuff when I was like 6 years old. I absolutely loved instead.
Wow. You know what's funny? I think about this often. You think about the 80s,
Mhm.
and there were a lot of men dressed as women. Even
It
like
was.
so hard rock bands, they had
Hmm.
more hairspray than you could
Yeah.
even rustle together in 4 hairdressing shops. You had Boy George, and everything was very gender blended, and all this stuff.
Yes.
And then somehow something happened, and now we're all fucking terrified of mascara, or like,
I know,
oh my God,
right?
that person's wearing a skirt. It's the end of the fucking world. Meanwhile, there's homeless people sitting there right as I'm crying about it.
Exactly.
Where do you think we went wrong? What happened? Did our brains fry?
I don't know. I really don't know what happened. I was saying about how I'm a big drag fan too, and I see the way people are treated, trying to outlaw drag because they're reading a book to a child. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, it's different if they were dancing around a pole.
Yeah, it's different if they had like a sex offender like
Mm.
arrest list or
Yes,
something like.
yes,
Hey, all right, I don't
exactly.
want that person, but hey, if you don't have like a record, yeah, well, I don't know. I think we're brain broken. I think as a species we lost our way.
I
So,
think so.
so did any of these artists that you were forced to listen to as a kid? Any of these artists like have an inspiration on what you write today?
Pretty much no.
Not a thing. Not a thing. So you're not going to
Peter,
do an Olivia Newton-John cover in the near future?
I think the people like I mean I respect, like the Rat Pack and I respect
You
Olivia.
respect the Rat Pack. They were really abusive to women.
Oh, they were. Oh man, I mean the music. The music. Not them as people.
Bing Crosby was like this guy. He'd be like, la la la, fucking, it's Merry Christmas, everybody. Everybody have your eggnog. And then, like, he'd finish his recording and, like, fucking bitch and be punching his wife. He was super abusive. And he, like, sold himself as, like, this caring Christmas guy, you know?
Oh
Hey,
no.
grab the kids, get some
Oh
eggnog,
man.
everybody. Shut up,
No.
bitch.
No, I guess I only listened to the songs.
Right. It's kind of like, do you remember that song from the 80s, Hello, by Lionel Richie?
Oh yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that. Mhm.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw it, I was like, what a beautiful song that is. And then I got older and kind of read the lyrics and was like, is this song about stalking a blind woman? That's pretty hardcore. Different times, I guess, you know?
That's true.
So, knowing that you are quite partial to young men with hairspray and makeup. See, my first album, before I ask you this question,
Hmm.
when I was young, my dad used to catch me all the time dressing up in girls' clothes and go, "What is wrong with you?"
Hmm. Yeah.
And then I got into metal, and he must have thought, "Oh, everything's cool now."
Oh,
The
yeah.
metal's going to fix everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he bought me for Christmas Poison. Look what the cat dragged in. And I looked at it and went, dude, all these guys are wearing makeup.
That's so funny because I was obsessed with Poison. That was probably like my first song, my first album or single that I like begged my mum to buy.
Well, that's what I'm going to ask you. What was the first album you purchased with your own money and the first album that was given to you as a gift, if you remember?
Well, it definitely would have been Poison. I That's all I cared about. I was the Oh, I can't remember which album, if it was with the Unskinny Bop or it was the album before that, but it was definitely Poison. Um, and then the first album I chose to buy myself would have probably been, I think about 13 is when, I experienced real music. And I
Real music.
and I remember it was like it had to have been Nirvana's Nevermind. I think it would have been something Nirvana. I was just hooked because I'm like, what is this grunge sound? Like, what is this groove? This is so different to what I've had. And yeah, I was just heavily influenced by them and, wore all the grungy clothes and thought I was cool.
It was like Nirvana was a shock to the system, wasn't it? Because
Yeah.
it came at a time when everything was so excessive. The 80s were very excessive, I feel.
Mhm.
Even like, I know you're going to love this analogy. We'll just say it now. I always equate the way the world goes by decades of wrestling,
Mhm.
right? So in the 70s, wrestling was like really old fat guys who had no moves
Yeah.
and it was all a bit slow
Mhm.
and in the 80s, everything was excess and feather boas and Hulk
Yes.
Hogan and take your
Yes.
vitamins and steroids
Yeah.
and cocaine, right? And then in the
That's true.
90s, everything was heroin
Yeah.
because there had to be a come down at some point, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Nirvana was. It was like this big, fuck. I just need, it's so angsty. And in a way, I kind of feel like Nirvana ruined music. Because ever since that decade when they owned the 90s
Mm.
and then he died, music's just never recovered.
Well, that's true. No, I think so. That's true. There's a few bands that I think that are like I was always a big Marilyn Manson fan too because of the artistic side of the way he looked and his songwriting and the music, of course. And I think some of those artists still relevant, but I think I think there was a very big change from the 80s with the rock and then the grunge, and then I'm trying to think the 2000s, that's when everything was just pop, right?
I,
Like
d-
the Backstreet Boys and all that type of stuff.
I honestly don't remember. And I think you could be pretty fair to say a lot of people don't remember the 2000 to 2010s.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. That's what I'm thinking. I just remember so many boy bands being around.
Because that's what we know. I remember watching the explosion of boy bands, and every time I saw a new one, thinking, you know what, another 10 of these would be awesome. Because they're not dissimilar from each other at all. Yeah, I love boy bands, like I love drinking battery acid. So, was music always something you wanted to partake in?
Uh, no, I didn't, well, that's probably the Nirvana phase because I actually started playing drums and my mom was the only mom out of the group of us that would allow to have a drum kit. So that's pretty much why I started playing the drums. And then we had this great idea that we were going to be the next all girl grunge group. We were going to be the next, like Australia's whole.
Nice. So, so how did that go?
Um, I don't think we ever played a song, and I was stuck with the drum kit.
Do you still play?
No, I don't anymore, but I did play for probably about maybe like 3 years, and that was when I went through my funk stage, and I was just like everything was Chili Peppers, and so I was doing a lot of like funk drumming, which was really cool and fun because I had a really good funk drummer. But after that, yeah, that's when I switched over to just playing guitar.
Let me guess, was it Blood Sugar Sex Magic that did it to you?
That's the
It's
one.
such a common thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I remember too, because I've obviously played in lots of metal bands, but lots of funk bands and lots of different styles, jazz and stuff. But when I heard Blood Sugar Sex Magic, I was already a fan of Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
But that album came out and it was just like, oh my God, every fucking song on this album is good. Like,
Yeah, amazing.
such good grooves and hard hitting. And there used to be an event, I think it's still in Melbourne. I don't know if it's still called Chasers. But
Oh, okay.
back in Chapel Street in Prahran, it was a nightclub,
okay.
but every Wednesday they had a night called Hard and Fast.
Oh, really?
And it sounds good, but it wasn't really that hard and it really wasn't that fast. But it was where you would go every week and get some Chili Peppers, some Faith No More, that kind of stuff. So it was like that kind of hard. Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember being so drunk and dancing to Chili Peppers with random girls.
I really loved Mother's Milk as well. I thought that was a cool album.
It sure is, isn't it?
Yeah.
What about One Hot Minute?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I know a lot of people were, but I didn't mind. I don't really like the newer stuff they've done. I'm not the biggest fan of. I definitely like the older.
Yeah, I think they got a bit weird when Anthony Kiedis started dating 17-year-olds. That thing's got a bit weird. There you go. I said it, folks. It's out there in the open. Whatever.
Like which one?
Yeah, which under 18 girl is he dating now? Who knows? Hey, yeah, rich people can do whatever they want, I guess. Let's play another track, and then we'll say hello to everybody here. We're going to play "Oh Baby." This is an acoustic version of this. I'm just going to make sure everything's muted, and then we'll come back and say hello to everybody here.
Sweet.
Let's do it. You ready to age, folks? Let's do it. This is "Oh Baby" by Miss Stephanie Paige. Boom.
Time is ticking. Better run around the corner. Well, I might have to crawl, 'cause the feelings I'm not sure can survive. Heads are turning. We got everybody talking.
What a beautiful track. I think I played that the other day, either on my channel or on my Patreon or something like that.
Oh, thank you.
So let's talk about school.
Mm-hmm.
Because here in Victoria, I've talked about this many times. I've had guests on. We had, well, back when I was at school anyway, we had a really robust music class at my school. So I went to what's called Footscray City Secondary College. Used to be called Footscray Tech, and our VCE class had a really amazing music course in it.
Oh, nice.
And did you, when at the schools you went to, were you offered a good choice of options for music in school, for electives or whatever they call them now? And yeah, oh yeah, the important thing, did you have to play the recorder?
Oh gosh, why do you have to bring it up?
Because it haunts all
Just
our
kidding.
dreams.
I know, right? Yes, I had to play the recorder, and I did not like it. I was going to rebel against it.
Well, we're going to have an uprising at school.
Yeah, I was like, I thought music. I think that's why I didn't like music classes, and like it wasn't how I thought it would be. Like I thought it would be, like Jack Black in School of Rock. That's how I thought music should be. And I get there, and it's just the recorder, and the songs are just. I don't even know how the songs. They're just the most boringest songs I've ever seen in my life. And then you have to play them over and over again. And I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Sorry. We got there and it was just the recorder. It was just, fucking, you sat there for a whole year just holding a recorder going, fuck, get me out of here. See, my VCE course was amazing in year 11. It was a whole year of you just learned 50 songs and then you go on tour.
Oh, what?
That was, and we got to play with 1927, Midnight Oil, and do all these cool things.
That's crazy.
It was wild.
Yeah.
It was the best year of my entire life.
Oh my goodness. No, we didn't have anything like that.
Wow. So it must
That's
only
so
be tech
cool.
schools that did that.
Yeah, maybe. Man, that would have been cool.
So did you learn anything from school relating to like guitar or anything? Or was it all just, you just skipped it all? You just sat there with your recorder and then said, I'll learn it all myself?
Pretty much. I didn't learn anything from music. I wasn't even interested in playing back then. It was pretty much I just was like, once I picked up the guitar and just thought I want to start playing guitar, and I pretty much just self-taught myself chords, and then began songwriting, and like I said, I played drums a little, and a little bit of keyboard I started playing as well. Yeah, pretty much. I don't think I learned anything that I know now from my schooling. No.
Well, it's interesting because I'm born in the 70s. You're born in the 80s, and we have tools now that you don't even need school. I mean, you can go on YouTube and sit there and learn your circle of fifths in 10 minutes. It's like anything. When I bought my first guitar that had a tremolo system on it, Floyd Rose, the first thing I did was go to YouTube and learn how to set it up.
Yeah, exactly.
We have everything at our fingertips.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, do you remember your first gig in front of a live audience?
The first gig that I played or that I went to?
Your first gig. Oh, let's do both.
Oh, okay. First gig I played was, I don't know if you've heard of that, the Moss Vale Park Festival. I think it's like near Murbu, North Leongatha. And yeah, that was my first gig, and because I knew one of the people's sons that was like choosing the band, and I was so nervous. And then they put us on the stage. They had two stages, and then they put us on second last instead of earlier in the show, and we had to play after British India, and so they were on the stage packing up their stuff watching us. And I was just freaking out because it's the first time I've ever played and there's a well-known band watching. So I think I probably like stuffed up half my lyrics.
You know what? Nobody would have known.
Yeah, because no one knew the songs.
Exactly, exactly. Do do you fret over stuff like that? Because I'll give you when I used to sing live, I used to fret all the time and go, "Oh man, I've got to be as good as the album. I've got to," and then you realize that the world don't work like that. Sometimes you got gigs and you got the flu and you got to play, and you're not going to sound like that. You can't hit those notes, so you got to tailor your stuff.
Yeah.
What's your take on performance and do you get nervous before you perform? What's it goes into preparing for a live performance for Miss Stephanie?
Yes, I would have to say, like, I guess a little social anxiety, so I get quite anxious having to perform. That's why I think that I feel more comfortable with a band, because that way, you can hide a little in it, or you have people around you to just help with that. It makes you feel more comfort instead of being the front and only person, and all the attention's on you. uh but even like performing like on YouTube and stuff, I would get kind of nervous about doing stuff like that. But I think the more that you do it, the less nervous you get, the more comfortable you get with your art and with performing. And yeah.
If you're not getting nervous before a gig, you're probably dead.
Yeah.
Because there's always some form of butterfly. Even if what you're
Yeah.
doing, there's always some
Mhm.
form of like. And these days we probably give it a. I remember when I used to go. Well, I still do occasionally, but go live. I would have such butterflies
Mhm.
and just uppity kind of feeling, but I never really called it anxiety or anything like that. It was just, it's a unique feeling. It's like,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, maybe we'll just give it its own word. We'll call it a fatunch or just make up something for it, because it's a strange feeling. It's not nerves. It's not fear. You just want it to go good.
Yeah, exactly, because you want to show people your best, right? And I mean, life's life, things happen, and you can only do the best with what you have. And like you said, if you get sick, and as they say, the show must go on. So, and
Yeah.
I think even if you're not like some of the bands I might like too, maybe not have the best singers, but it's not about that. Like, it's about the music, it's about the message. And as long as you're still showing that to the crowd, then yeah, I like you said, I don't think people will care too much.
I want to come back and touch on what you just said then about good singers. But before we do so,
Mhm.
there's 31 amazing souls here in our live stream
Oh,
sitting in the
sweet.
chat. Thank you guys for being here. We should do
Thank
some
you.
roll call and call some people's
Yes.
names. So, folks, please help me out. You know the drill. Just write something, anything, and so I can find you in the chat. I'll do my best to find people already. Ali Vitilia's here, Heathen Granny, Bonfire, Chris Lane Sr. We've got Hugh Caldwell. Who else do we have? Bonfire, David Cartret. G'day, David. Sean Chandler. Hi, Sean. And we've got, who else? Denise, UFC, Bubba, Leela. Who else? I've got Jenny Jolivet, Justine Casbrick, Thomas Christ. G'day, Thomas. Gordon Lee Weaver. As I scroll through the list of people and find out who I've missed, I'll come back down to the bottom because I can't see. Tremor Bear. I saw Mr. Smith who gave away a membership. Thank you, Mr. Smith, for doing that. Brad Example. And Jamie, I saw up the top. I'm going from memory now. Ha, 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 ha. Studio 6+1. Dude, I'm still buzzing from yesterday. Thank you. Joe Glenn, Barry Glenn. Who else? I'm saying R a lot today. What's going on? Ed Zielinski. Songs from the Rua Room. Thank you for the kind words you said about getting 5,000 subs. You rock. Kristen Kruger. Hi. Good to see you. And I think I've got most of you. If I've missed you, just write in the chat, you missed me, and I'll come back. I'll try and do a recap as we go on. Now I forgot what I was going to continue on. Oh, you're talking about people's skill set. Skill set.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is what I want to go on because it's interesting. We're so critical of ourselves as musicians, especially singers. Yeah, like you want to put on a good performance, you want to sing good, and the vocals are front and center of most songs, unless it's an instrumental. So you're going to get, as a vocalist, you're always going to get picked apart before anyone else because you're
True.
at the front.
Yes.
But it's interesting because I see a lot of YouTube channels where it'll be like really good singer reacts to Nirvana.
Oh yeah.
You know, these kind of videos. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, hang on a minute. This really good singer is reacting to Nirvana and she's sitting there going, yeah, he's not a really good singer. And it's like, yeah, but he's the one with the platinum albums and you're not.
Yeah, I know, right?
So what is a good singer? What is your opinion? What do you look for in a singer? Is it technicality? Is it notes? Or do you have to feel? What is it that draws you to a vocalist?
I think I'm like, I was brought up listening to amazing vocalists. Like I said, I love artists that make you feel. And I don't think that have been the best singers, but I don't care about that. I feel that I'm not the greatest singer myself, so I always felt like when people say, "Oh, you've got a great voice," I'll be like, "Really?" Like I'm like, because I know I could do better. But yeah, I think that pretty much that it depends on the person too. I think some people do love to hear somebody that has an amazing technically trained voice, and I can be appreciative of that. But I definitely think that it's about the message in their song, the way they their tone, the way that they phrase their lyrics. Yeah, that has more of an impact for me personally anyway.
I absolutely feel you on that. I sticking with Nirvana because I was a big fan. You know, we couldn't escape them here. No, I don't think anybody could escape Nirvana with Nevermind here in Australia.
No, that's right.
Triple J, Hottest 100, they were on the top of that. You know, I remember being in Brisbane at the time and they did the Triple J Hottest 100 and Nirvana was number one. And you just couldn't escape it. And it got so bad that it was like, really? Fucking everywhere I go, Nirvana's being played. And I saw them live and I thought, man, they were terrible live.
Oh, wow.
But was it that? Now I think back and go, but were they terrible? Or was it just that's the style that it is, it's not perfect. And if you got to take off that perfectionist hat and not sit there and judge something, instead just go in and fucking enjoy it.
Enjoy it, yeah. Because I remember SuperChat came out at the same time too.
Yes.
They were trying to kind of make them the Aussie Nirvana, and
they did well. They did well.
They did, and it's funny because I felt the same way with Daniel Johns. Like live, his voice isn't like picture perfect like sound, but it's like the same thing. I don't know if it's meant to be that way. I feel like it's the experience of the band and the energy and yeah, just the way like the angst. Even with like punk rock, right? They might not be the best singer, but it's the message and the angst singing it that I love.
I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. You know, it's hard too, even to take off that critic hat to just enjoy stuff sometimes. These days I find it hard anyway. Let's shift things because this is going to be a part where most people are going to tune out, but I don't really care because my friend here, my new friend here, Miss Stephanie Paige, happens to enjoy a certain pastime that I enjoy as well. And a lot of people don't.
No.
And a lot of people who you run into and open up and bare your soul and say, hey, my friend, I know we've just met and we're starting a new friendship, but I need to tell you this horrible, deep, dark secret that I have. I like wrestling.
Yes.
And that's when people normally respond with, you know it's fake. And I'm like, go fuck yourself, idiot.
Yeah, it's like, really? Oh my gosh, it's fake. How did I not know?
How did you get into wrestling?
Well, my boyfriend, he is American and he has been a huge wrestling fan since he was little. And he pretty much got me into wrestling, and I just it's a whole thing. Like I just love it. Like I think to myself, how did I not know about this to this extent before? How did I not go to shows? It's so fun to watch, and I go to all the shows, and even if you're not a wrestling fan, I keep saying let's just go to a show because you don't have to love wrestling. The enjoyment that you will have, like there's so much crowd involvement, and like what place can you go to where you can just yell whatever you want at people and you won't get in trouble?
Well, that doesn't always happen. I remember seeing somebody get removed.
Oh no,
When
really?
when I went to see WWE in Melbourne, there was a guy not far from us who kept yelling, and we were pretty close too. We were like on the
Yeah.
floor. We were probably about 15 seats from the ring, and there was a guy near us who just kept yelling out stuff that people were F slang and F, just horrible stuff, calling them just
Oh,
horrible stuff.
really?
And security came and went, yeah, you got to leave.
Oh my
Too many
goodness.
beers for you, buddy.
Yeah, I've never experienced that. Usually people are pretty good at the shows, like the indie shows that I go to. Like people will yell out stuff, but it's all in fun. It doesn't cross the line, where it's actually being offensive. But yeah, it's a really good time. It's fun.
I think in this case, for a big event like WWE, and I did this
Yeah.
the first time I went to a big wrestling event, I drank all the way through the day leading up to it, and I was
Oh, really?
smashed by the time I got there. So
Oh,
I don't remember any of it. But, because we don't get a lot of big wrestling here in Australia. We've
no,
got our
we
indie
don't.
stuff, which I used to go to as well. Pete John says here, yeah, movies are fake too, and also the news. It's true, man.
That's
Like
right.
the thing is with wrestling, for me, is it just reminds me of like Home and Away with fake punching. Like there's dramas, there's storylines. This
Yeah.
person did this person wrong, or this person sleep, and it's just drama. Like it is prefabricated. But to sit there and say, "Oh my God, it's completely fake," and you see somebody tear a muscle, they tear their quad muscle
Exactly.
off their fucking leg, or you see like
Yeah.
Big E recently,
Mm-hmm.
a few
With
years
his
ago,
neck.
he did that
Mm-hmm.
huge move and he ended up breaking his fucking neck. And
Exactly.
Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestled for years with a broken neck.
Oh
Kurt Angle,
yeah.
heaps of them broke their necks. It's a dangerous sport. That's all
It
there is to it.
is. It's really people don't I don't think they realize like they're athletes. Like the injuries that they get and the amount of training they do and the people forget about the amount of travel they do. Like the last show that I went to, the one of the wrestlers was telling me he pretty much had no sleep whatsoever and he was wrestling every night of the week, probably off like 2 hours sleep. And I was just like, man, that's not good.
Yeah, and the lives of wrestlers are really short
Mm,
because not only is it the grind, I mean, you're working 365.
yeah.
You're on the road 24/7, traveling. As soon as you finish a show, you're off. You've got injuries. There's,
Hmm.
there used to be big problems with painkillers and
Yeah,
alcohol
that's
and
true.
drugs all mixed together. You got people having heart attacks and all this stuff. And, it's a crazy life to continuously be doing this on-screen live theater production every fucking
Mm.
day.
Oh,
People are going to get
absolutely.
burnt out. People are going to get hurt, and that's
Hmm.
the way it rolls. It's a very I don't know. The money's amazing, so you can't take that away from them. I'm going to hit you up with a wrestling game.
Okay.
So it's a word association kind of thing. Oh, you can give me more than one word answers,
Okay.
and I'm just going to give you throw out a few names and things, and I want to get your opinion on them.
Okay.
Hulk Hogan.
Not a fan.
That was the kindest description of Hulk Hogan. So you don't take your vitamins and say your prayers?
No, isn't he like associated with Trump now or something?
He is. He is.
Yeah.
he spoke at Trump's thing. It was one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen in my life. He came out and he ripped his shirt and he had a MAGA shirt. It was so stupid. The funniest thing was he came out one of the recent pay-per-views, I think. I can't remember which one. I think it was the one before WrestleMania. Or probably two before that. It was probably Royal Rumble. And the whole crowd just booed the shit out of him. And he was like doing his thing and he's like, shit, I better get out of here. Everybody thinks I'm a racist.
That was so awkward. Oh my goodness, I remember it.
Because for a period of time, many people wouldn't know this. A Hulk Hogan got done for sex tapes. He had sex with his best mate's wife. And it was all caught on video. And in the video, he called black people the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
It's
not good.
A really shitty person.
He really is a shitty human. And, you know, here's the thing right now. This is something that I find really interesting, the psychology of wrestling, of course.
Mm-hmm.
When people do say it's fake, right? Hulk Hogan doesn't think so. Because Hulk Hogan's been living in this world of, as the name Hulk Hogan, which isn't his real name, and living in this facade of Hulk Hogan, that his stories that he tells when he's actually talking real have become so blurred that I don't even think he knows what's real anymore.
No. And it's that whole ego thing, right?
Yeah.
Everyone telling you you're the greatest.
And I think it makes sense too. Like any human being who, like this is just normal person who tells a lot of lies in their life ends up lying so much that they don't know what is true about themselves anymore because they've made up so many. I think that's Hulk Hogan's problem. Next one, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Cool, hot ass.
Almost killed a woman at WrestleMania.
Oh gosh, did he even hit the thing?
She did go back, but anyway. So if you don't know, folks, during WrestleMania this year, Stone Cold Steve Austin came out on a four-wheeler and he rode around the ring really fast and he lost control of the four-wheeler and he went straight into the barricade and some woman behind the barricade went flying back in her seat and now she's trying to sue WWE. It's pretty funny. AEW.
I still like it. I'm only supposed to use a few words, right?
No, you can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want.
Okay. Yeah, the thing is there's wrestlers there that I really like. So like Swerve Strickland. I was a fan of Jungle Boy, but then that all went crazy with the whole CM Punk thing.
Real Glass, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but like we were talking about, I don't know. I don't tend to watch it as much. It's gone a little, downhill. But of course it has with Tony Khan running.
Well, he does like cocaine, so
he's like a crazy guy.
He is. What about Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not the biggest The Rock fan. Like he's good at his promos. It's cool when he comes back, but I don't know. I've never been. I don't know. I just never was a big fan of his.
There was this thing. I'm trying to look for it, where somebody had worked out if you type into Google search images The Rock and the word cufflink, it comes up with hundreds and hundreds of pictures of The Rock touching his cufflinks.
What the heck?
And it's actually true.
Oh, yeah, that's his favorite pose, right?
Yeah, he really loves cufflinks. Look at this photo here. Like,
he's got his own.
Look at him. He's touching his cufflink. He's touching his cufflink. Look at all these pictures. He's really touching his cufflink in this one. He really loves cufflinks.
Is this a secret code or something?
I think it's something. I think he's trying to get a message out to people about cufflinks. I don't know. All right, John Cena.
Oh, John Cena's now gone to the dark side. um,
What do you think of that? Because for those of you who don't know, John Cena, he's a huge Hollywood star, right? Same with The Rock, came from the wrestling, from WWE. And with John Cena, he was always a good guy, never changed. And the audience used to always be like, fucking, they wanted him to turn bad. Because that's the script. Everyone wanted the good guy to finally turn bad. And this year he did it. After 20 years, he turned bad. And it's been a bit of a letdown. I don't know. Been a bit boring.
I think the first night was. Do you remember the little kid that they showed on the screen?
Yeah.
And he was so disappointed. That was funny.
It sure
And I
was.
thought, oh, this is going to be good. But then since then, same thing. Yeah, it's been a little bit drab.
It's been a bit wishy-washy. It's a bit boring.
Yeah.
Hi, Pole Vault, and hi, Hottie in the chat. If anyone who's just joined, hello, thanks for hanging out with us. Good to see you back, Pole Vault. We've only got a couple more. Rhea Ripley.
Oh, I love Rhea Ripley. She's great. You know what? She's always down at the Westfield Shopping Center when she comes out. Her and Buddy, they go down to like Fountain Gate. They're always shopping there, and so many people see them. I'm like, man, I'd love to run into them down there. She's just really cool. I wasn't even a huge fan of her before, but she's really grown on me. I just think she's badass, and I think she's really good at representing the company, especially for Australia. I think, yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, it's been like, because both me and Stephanie have been to a lot of Australian wrestling promotions, a lot of indie stuff. For a time, I was doing valet work in a small production. This is many, many years ago, like 30 years ago. So I've had a long time association, and we haven't never really had a lot of Australian wrestlers in WWE. I mean, they tried to say the Bushwhackers were Australian. They were from New Zealand. But Rhea Ripley's an Aussie, and she's from Adelaide, and fuck, she is a demon. She's an amazing wrestler. The Aussie wrestling scene. What do you think of that?
I think they have actually a lot of good talent, and I guess it's just getting seen, getting over. There's the Parade, you know those guys, the Greek tag team. They're really good. I think they've been over for Ring of Honor and one episode of AEW, and I think they're going to get picked up pretty soon. They're pretty cool. We've got actually a lot of local talent that I think can do quite well. And that's the thing. When I've been to the local shows, I thought they would be, of course, they're not going to be WWE, but I thought they wouldn't be as strong as certain shows. And I tell you, they put on a good show. Those guys and girls are great athletes. Like, yeah, we've got a lot to offer.
Yeah, I agree. And it's starting to show. We've got some great Aussie talent around the world now. It seems the UK. Last one I'll hit you up with, the controversial question. Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Oh my goodness. What do you say?
What do you say?
Thank goodness he's gone.
For those of you who don't know, Vince McMahon was the owner of WWE for many, many years. And as fans, we all knew there was something wrong in his head because, I mean, there were scripts during the 90s that he put up where a 90-year-old woman gave birth to a hand. He wanted to have a scene where he had sex with his own daughter and got her pregnant. I mean, and then it turns out that he's a rapist.
Yeah, he's
Who knew?
Very bad person.
Who knew? And all those texts came out that that one of the women who worked at WWE, he had her as a sex slave, and they gangbanged her and did all these things and shit on her, and just disturbing shit. And now he's no longer with the company. Thank fuck for that. But yeah, There's been a lot of controversy around that man, and he's no longer with the company. So look, I get excited. It's very rare I find a wrestling fan to talk to. Nobody I know likes wrestling, and I watch it every week. And
I understand the feeling.
it's you feel like a leper, don't you? When again, it's that same comeback. It's like, oh, it's fake. It's like I'm 50 years old. I think I fucking know it's fake. All right.
Exactly, right?
Because it is. When they say that, they're actually saying you shouldn't watch that.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you
Yeah,
can't tell me what to
exactly.
watch. Fuck
That's
off.
right.
All right, let's play a song, shall we?
Okay, sounds good.
We've done our wrestling, so you can all come back now. The wrestling talk.
Yeah, they can come back.
Fuck it. What was I going to play here? What have I got listed? So I'm going to play now. Let's do Little Lucy. That's Oj. You ready, folks? We've got everything unmuted. We're good to go. Give me a sec.
No.
This is Little Lucy. Let's Oj. Beautiful stuff. We're at our halfway point of the show, folks. So we'll come back to Stephanie in just a moment. I just need to let you know that this show is sponsored by our dear friends at DistroKid, and they've given me a message that I need to pass on to you. So let's do that. This presentation is proudly sponsored by DistroKid. Introducing DistroKid, your ultimate music distribution solution. For just $29.99 a year, DistroKid empowers you to release unlimited tracks on all major music platforms worldwide, including Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, and so many more. Plus, use my link distrokid.com/VIP/JadeStar and get 7% off your first year. You'll also keep 100% of your royalties and gain access to valuable tools like instant verification on Spotify and detailed revenue analytics. Don't let your music go unheard. Join DistroKid today and take your music career to the next level. Thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring today's presentation. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, DistroKid. I couldn't do it without you. You know the drill. I love you, DistroKid, so much. I'm surprised they still sponsor me, even though I get creepy and talk weird love stuff to them. Tell us about that song.
Little Lucy is pretty much about, I think, like depression, just having like a dark cloud over your head, and the person's like saying, it's okay, it's going to be all right, comforting them, like you'll get through this no matter how bad it is. And then as the song goes on towards the end, you see the clouds have lifted and she's skipping along singing la di da da. People like the song, and it's weird because it's like my least favorite song. I don't know why. I think it's too like happy and poppy, even though the lyrics aside, just the upbeat of the sound of the song is a little like too happy for me. But yeah,
it's interesting because like the title of today's show is, of course, as you can see here, Dark Beauty.
Yeah.
And so that was the name of your first album.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I wanted to put that there because like I can hear darkness in your music, but there's a lot of joy in that too. How would you describe what your music is in a broad sense, lyrically and musically?
That's what I think I struggle with.
Yeah.
Knowing what it actually is. Like maybe, yeah, you're right. That's what like dark beauty, because I've got all this influence from all these, like, I guess, darker artists, and I've always loved like horror films, and I have interest in like true crime and the darker things in life. But then I'm kind of got the acoustic guitar, so it's not like I can, rock out hard on it. So I kind of mix the two together. And then lyrically, I think it's the same thing. I love storytelling. I don't write a lot about myself and my own feelings. I tend to write about other people that I observe what they're going through, or it's just like something that's influenced from like a movie or something, something fictional. Because that's how I look at music. Like with my songs, I think of them like little short films, and then I'm doing like the soundtrack, to the story sort of thing.
Would you consider yourself a black sheep?
Yeah. I think that, well, I like I said, I don't feel like I always feel like a misfit and I don't fit in, and I feel like I'm I don't know, I just don't what's the saying, you like walk to the beat of your own drum or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, the beat of the drum's pretty boring. Especially if it's like some military band or some shit like that,
Yeah, that's true.
So, what got you? So, was there a point? So, let's go back. So, we're talking about when you play drums and you pick up your guitar. And did you have any singing lessons or anything like that, or was singing just being a thing that you just did and it worked?
Yeah, no, I think I had like one singing lesson, and then the lady wanted me to sing something like the recorder. I just didn't want to sing it. I thought, is this singing lessons? I don't want to do this. I want to sing rock and roll or something. And then I ended up just, I don't know, once I started to songwrite, the vocals, the singing just came naturally, and I just, it was just there. And yeah, same, like, yeah, I really didn't I didn't have any training, and it's just I'm not sure, I just really happened, and it just worked.
There's a lot of people cursing you right now. But it is true. Like there are some people out there who just can naturally pick up singing. Like I taught singing for many years, and you get some people come in to learn, and they open their mouth, and you think, why the fuck are you here? Like some people just naturally have an ability. Like you can't
Yeah,
deny
yeah.
that. Some people can just pick things up and
Oh
and
yeah.
and they go with it, and they don't need any training. There's sometimes people just got it, and I think it's a little bit subjective. Like know your breathing and know all these
Yeah,
things. And I
yeah.
don't think Kurt Cobain did any breathing exercises beforehand, and I think he
No,
did all
I
right
don't
from
think.
it. So
Exactly. It's the same with guitar. Like some people, you can see they just naturally are such gifted guitarists. Like I'm pretty like basic chords. Um, I don't know why, but I struggle with notes, and I look at some people, I'm like, man, I wish I could play like that, but I don't know, maybe one day. But yeah, definitely some people do have that gift, I think.
indeed. Hi, Folk Punk. And I want to thank Hottie for shooting a donation across to in the super chat vein. I don't think I've missed anyone else who's popped in. Oh, UFC Bubba has a question. What kind of impact do you hope to make on newcomers or wisdom to share with them in the music scene, Miss Stephanie?
Well, that's a good question.
Better than
Uh,
mine.
well, I think it's nice when you do have an impact, and people, like, I had people on YouTube cover my song, which is like, oh wow, like I really never thought that would happen. And then um they're like, oh yeah, can I perform? They might play at like a bar or club, and like, would it be okay if it was actually Little Lucy, like, can I play your song Little Lucy? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, that's cool. So having an influence of people wanting to play my songs. If I can influence other people that maybe would like another thing doing covers, and then they're like, oh, you kind of inspired me to start writing my own music and doing originals. That's really cool too. If I can keep on, supporting other people just as they support me, and we're both going upwards creating, then awesome.
I often ask people this question because I pretty much started this channel seriously as this incarnation of what it is around COVID, around the
Mm-hmm.
inconvenience, as we call it. Now, you were here in Melbourne like with me, and we were locked down for fucking 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get through the inconvenience? What were the negatives? What were the positives? And have you come out of it better?
Well, for me, it was one of the worst times because my partner, he's American, and I had just met him, and then he got stuck in the United States. So then the borders closed, and we didn't see each other for 2.5 years. And so that was,
Ouch.
yeah, that was really bad. And we pretty much, our relationship was just this online.
Wow, that sucks.
But I think that, that makes us stronger because we've had to be there emotionally and mentally for each other. And then musically, I don't think it changed that much for me because I was kind of having I guess I had a break. I wasn't out gigging or anything. I was more like recording at home and or songwriting and stuff. So it didn't have as much as an impact as if I'd been like performing. But just on a personal level, it was really rough, and it was yeah, quite depressing. But I think I tell you, it makes you appreciate once everything opened up, right? And you can go to everything, and you're just like, wow, am so appreciative that I can go to shows and do what I want to do now. And yeah,
See, I didn't mind it. Because I don't do much. So,
yeah,
and like if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have started this.
yeah, that's true.
So, and I think a lot of musicians found it like, oh my God, I don't have to go to a job for a month or whatever. So I don't know. You got to do a reset and get it. I don't. Everyone's going to, but a lot of people died, so it was horrible as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Tell us about your first album, Dark Beauty. Did you tell us what the deal about it? Can people get it? Tell us about it.
Probably not. So
Right.
it's way back on just a CD. I would have to convert it, and I mean I could do that, put up the track somewhere, and I recorded that in, I think it was called Wombat Studios. It was like this tiny studio out. It was somewhere in Gibson. I can't even remember the place. It was like out in the bush. And then I they were pretty much the first songs I ever wrote. So I'm not a fan of a lot of the songs on there, but it's still, I'm proud that's what I did for my first EP. But the song I'm proud of is Brandon, which is a song coming up, and that was the very first song that I ever wrote, and I put on the album, and that turned out pretty good. And yeah, the subjects on the same sort of thing. The album quite like you said, dark in nature, but light in other ways. So yeah, that's why I come up with the title Dark Beauty.
Whoop, I muted myself. Well, here's the thing. I was, searching for your links and stuff. You got to get your music on Bandcamp or through DistroKid.
I know. I'm trying to get back in the game. I got to start getting into all this. I'm so behind.
Yeah, it takes nothing too. You have your stuff up on Bandcamp and DistroKid within hours. It's ridiculous. So there's a good ad for DistroKid there. I'm going to play another song, and I'm going to let's grab this one, Raindrops and Red Shoes. What is Raindrops and Red Shoes?
It's inspired by the song, inspired by the story, of Jack the Ripper. So when I wrote this song, I wanted to challenge myself more as a songwriter and a lyricist, and I think that I'm proud of what I wrote, and it's supposed to represent, if you think about Jack the Ripper through a stormy London town, and the raindrop, he needs it to be dark and stormy, right, so he can commit what he's got to commit. And then the red shoes, you know what that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Some people just, it goes over their head. They're like, this is a beautiful song.
So have you ever killed anybody before?
No, I haven't.
All right. Now, it doesn't matter if you're lying. You can tell me off air, and I'll keep it as a secret, so it's all right. Let's play this song. What dickhead. All right, let's Oge. Boom. Wow. Now, has anybody from this community hit you up yet to do a collaboration?
No, they haven't actually.
Well, I reckon that's going to be soon.
That
Because
would be really cool.
that's what happens around here, around this broad space of channels that are all interconnected somehow through all of us being weirdos on YouTube. But I'm sure somebody will reach. I'm surprised Cold Acre hasn't yet because he's in Melbourne too. So that'll probably happen after this interview. Who knows? I want to say before we go on, a few other people have joined us. We've got Paws and Guitars, we've got Les Nagy, we got Falcon Blueser, Dan Eckberg. A few other people have come in. Just wanted to make sure I acknowledge the land that Indigenous people have held. No, that's the wrong welcome. That's Welcome to Country. What am I talking about? So recording. What is your recording setup? Do you have a little space there in your house that you're recording? Do you have a door? What's the deal? What's the gear?
I pretty much haven't recorded for many years. So, I mean, I have this thing. This is what I used to record on. This little thing.
What is that?
It's old school. It's like I don't even know. See, I used to plug in my music to this and then use some sort of program, and that's what I would do. And now I haven't recorded in so long that everything has changed and I don't know what I'm doing.
Gear is gear, and it doesn't matter what, that's, Pete Johns says this all the time on his channel as well. The best gear to have is the gear that you have already, and don't go getting anything else. So with the album that you recorded with Dark Beauty, you said you went into a studio?
Yeah.
What was that process like? Would you go and do a studio again? What did you get from that experience?
Yeah, I would actually. That's what I've been looking at. That was you just went in and you just laid down the guitar tracks first, then the vocals, and then they would give you the CD. It wasn't complex or anything like I don't know it even. They didn't do mixing or anything. It's yeah, it was very simple. But yeah, now I would like to go and get some of my songs recorded. It's just like finding the right people and money, of course. But yeah, definitely would like to get that done. Either that or start working on building something at home to be able to record more.
It doesn't take a lot these days. I mean, that's what this channel's about. I do everything on iOS and an iPad and an iPhone. I mean, these days, it's ridiculous. You can have an iPad and just plug in an interface and you're good to go. Nearly everybody around these communities has like a little interface, computer, and that's it. You're good to go. So do you have plans on putting out, because you've got a whole bunch of new songs, don't you?
Yeah, I've been working on a lot of new songs, so I definitely want to get them recorded. And also, I like the songs that I have, obviously, they're just to give an idea, like the Raindrops and Red Shoes and all the acoustic ones. I want to get all those done, recorded professionally too. So, because I have a bigger sound than just acoustic guitar in some of the songs. So yeah, I'd really like to get that done.
Well, there's a heap of people here in this chat right now that could form an absolute super band. And, I mean, you got a killer drummer. Did I say hello to James Myers? I didn't. Hi, James Myers. See this guy here, James Myers? This guy's a killer drummer. And Mr.
Cool.
Smith, he's another great drummer.
Yeah.
They're the hardest ones to find, drummers, because all drummers are insane. They lick windows, drummers. I know this because I am one. You know how you're allowed to say those terrible jokes about drummers and bass players when you are one, but when you're not, go fuck yourself. You're not allowed to do that. Hello, Costa. I see Costa's in the chat. Everybody hide your address. Costa's here. Don't let Costa know where you live. Costa's from Melbourne, Stephanie.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Cool.
He's Greek, so we'll say hello to him, Dikanis. And he's got a tendency to try and find out where we all are here in Australia so he can meet us in
So he
Melbourne.
could stalk us.
I'm joking. I'm being a dickhead, but it's just a running joke we've got here. So now you've performed around Melbourne too, and in festivals. Tell us about fucking trying to book gigs. So I'm guessing that's a while ago.
Yeah, it was.
So how did you get into booking gigs? Because it's a really hard thing. I remember when I was starting out, going out and getting gigs, you end up, you don't know what you're doing. You're going out to venues, you're trying to get some money at the same time. I mean, because the music industry's changed from when I was doing it, and I'm a little bit older than you, where you used to be able to get gigs pretty easy, but these days they have venues here in Australia where they want you to pay up
Yeah,
front.
I heard that.
So you pay them $200 and then they give you a gig, and then you've got the responsibility to sell tickets. And if you don't sell enough tickets, you don't get paid, and you end up just spending $200 plus everything else.
It's crazy.
It's a bizarre formula, and I think the reason it exists is because dumb fucks keep paying the money. I don't get
Exactly, right?
How would you go about booking gigs? Because it can be really cutthroat and you can get fucked over a lot. It's a really tough industry.
Absolutely. I was kind of lucky with the first gigs, like the festivals, because I knew it was a neighbor's son that was booking the band. So we pretty much played for nothing. Like, I think it was like $50 for the whole band we got, something like that. And but we just, like, for the experience, it was great. And yeah, I was kind of lucky with that. And then we pretty much just played anywhere. Like, even if you played, at a friend's party or something, like anywhere you could get yourself out there. Because like you said, I have seen that you do have to pay now, which is crazy.
Well, not all venues, but
No, not all.
There's some of them.
And don't you feel that the live scene has a lot less bands now, though, compared to how many bands would play?
I don't think, well, we're only talking about here in Australia. I don't think there's less
Yeah,
bands. I just think there's less places to play.
Yeah, less places, sorry.
Because what happened here in Australia is during the 90s, the gambling became legalized properly. Because when I was young, here in Australia, folks, in Victoria, you couldn't go to we didn't have slot machines at all through my whole life. And then, and if you wanted to go and play slot machines here in Australia, you'd have to jump on a bus, coach, and drive all the way to the border of New South Wales, which is where Sydney is for those outside of Australia, and just cross over the border. And then there were like clubs full of pokies. So there was a roaring trade for New South Wales to get people to travel interstate to play poker machines. But then they opened poker machines up here in Australia, and they opened up in Melbourne. They opened up a casino, and then they started filling all the venues which would have a band performing with slot machines. And yeah, slot machines kind of killed the music industry. There's a song by the Whitlams called "Blow Up the Pokies."
That's right.
And that's what it's about. Like, it's about, and the lyrics are, and I wish I knew the right words to blow up the pokies and drag them away, because they essentially removed entertainment to put in misery and watch people lose their money, where going to see a band is entertaining and social cohesion, and they replaced it with poker machines. So that's what went down.
They did the same thing too with in Gippsland as well, with the putting in DJs. They got rid of a lot of bands, and then it was cheaper to bring a DJ in, right? And so that also happened.
Yeah, and solo artists, they would have stick a guy in the corner with a keyboard and a guitar, and he'd play covers for the whole fucking night. And it's like, oh man, I wish this guy would shut up. He sucks. And you know what's really bizarre about this situation is, like, a band would play, so you'd have a lineup of bands, and most bands would only get like $100, $150.
Yeah.
But they got rid of all the bands, and then they put in these solo artists doing covers, and they pay them like $500.
Yeah, I know.
So I guess the thing is that bands bring people, but they also bring trouble, I think. Especially
Yeah.
if you were booking my band. Because we got banned from a whole bunch of venues here in Melbourne.
Did you?
Yeah. Look, all I did was stick their microphone in a jar of Nutella. I just wanted it to taste nice while I was singing, because the guy before had really shitty breath. Anyway, these are the things we do. So, how did you find us here on YouTube, Stephanie? What led you here to find Thomas Christ and all these channels?
It was actually a guy called Dan Anderson. He's a musician, and he would come into my streams all the time. And when I was just doing like gaming streams, and then I was like, he's supporting me. I'm gonna go and show the support back. So I subbed to his channel, and then he would share out a lot of other channels. So then I saw Thomas's channel, and just heaps of musicians in the community. So that's pretty much how I found you guys. And then I've just met so many amazing people, and that's the thing. I was in another like musical community beforehand, like before COVID happened, but then that kind of, people disappeared off YouTube, and we used to like perform every single night and do live streams and like take a turn. We'd have different musicians playing, and sometimes we would stream for like 12 hours, and we'd be like, this is crazy. I don't know how we ever did that, but yeah, that was really fun. But like I said, people disappeared from the community after with COVID. And yeah, I just love that everyone's so super supportive, because that can be a thing too, as you probably know yourself, like being around the music scene, people can be quite competitive, and there's jealousy, and they, oh, I'm a better guitarist than you, all my songs, but and I've never been like that. So it's
who's got time for that? Like,
yeah.
There's so much to worry about. Yeah, I've never got that stuff, but experienced it. Had people talk shit about me, and like, I would just think, I don't even know you.
Yeah, right.
How would you talk shit about me? Fuck you off. Whatever. Let's play another song. This is called Down in the City. You ready, guys? We're going to play this track. I'm ready. I've got it all queued up. Let's go. Boom.
I know about a little dark hidden place. You want it and you better play it my way. It's alright.
Boom! Down in the city. What goes on down in the city? What's the story of down in the city?
That's the question, right? That's why I'm saying the city of woes. There's a lot of things happening down there. It's kind of like tongue-in-cheek song. It's just it's not a lot to it, but it's just it's kind of influenced too by the whole loving bands like AC/DC and Airborne and that kind of rock sound. And yeah, I would like to record that, like properly, so we could rock more.
Well, it's one of the reasons I got you on the show. So I saw you on Thomas's show, and because I'm nearly most of the time I'm at nearly every show that's going on, be it Wes or be it Jean May or be it Thomas Christ. Or I'm normally got it on in the background. I may not be typing in chat, so I'm always looking. And I saw your song played. He pretty much opened the show with it, and I went through your YouTube channel. I'm like, man, there's talent here, but there's not a lot of stuff. You don't have a lot of material. And it kind of, there's always a method to my madness, right? And I'm just going to expose it because I don't talk shit. I try not to anyway. And I thought, let's get her on the show and talk about her music and get more people checking her out. And hopefully we'll get some collabs done and somebody will say, hey, get your voice on my song, because that's what we do amongst this community. And we see more songs coming out of this little firecracker from Melbourne.
That'd be awesome. I'd seriously love to collaborate with people if anyone's interested. Yeah.
So now you know, folks, reach out. She's hard to contact, actually. She's got a Facebook page, and that is in the description, right? So there you go. UFC Bubba is like going for it today. How do you react when listeners interpret your music in ways you never expected, or your music evokes emotions that you didn't intend? Does that even happen to you?
Not a lot. I think only, like I was saying before, when somebody says they're probably not listening to the lyrics and they're thinking that the song's a really happy, lovely song, but it's actually quite a dark, deep song. And then they don't see it the way that I wrote it, but then also it's open to interpretation, isn't it? So I'm very open-minded with that. I think that music can be, it can be interpreted how you want and how you see a story. It doesn't have to be the one way of the writer.
Yeah, absolutely. And normally I don't ask what is the song about, because again, some people have interpretations of your music, of your song, what it's about, and then you come up here and go, oh, it's about this, and they go, oh, what? But I thought it was about all the. Oh no!
Right.
And like you mentioned earlier too, you can never tell what songs people are going to enjoy. Like you have a whole bunch. You're in a studio, you're recording, and everyone's going, "This is the song. This is the one that everyone's going to love." And most of the time, the people pick the one that you hate.
I know. It's interesting, isn't it? I don't know why that is. Like I was saying with Little Lucy, they seem to like that song the most, and that's the song that people have covered. And I'm just like, it's just not a favorite of mine. And then you'll find something you really love, and it'll have hardly any views.
True, because the minute you start trying to predict how people are going to react, it take you down a really bad road, because you'll be disappointed.
Exactly.
Always, because there are people on this planet who think the world's flat, even though, regardless of all the evidence, they still think that's flat. The world's flat, and hey, that's okay if you think that, but you're wrong. It just, I can't tell you any other.
And then they want to argue with you about it, and it's like, hey, even if it is if we wake up tomorrow and it is flat and they proved it, it's not going to change anything for me.
And, who's got time to change someone's opinion? It's the same with music.
Yeah.
Like, some people will hear a song that everybody loves. And like me, you mentioned AC/DC. I fucking hate AC/DC. I can't stand them.
Yeah.
I hear them and I need to leave the room. But other people like it, and who am I to say that they suck? They don't suck. I just don't like them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Clayton Von Clue says, "Does Steph enjoy hip hop at all?"
I do. I do like hip hop.
Do you like Aussie hip hop?
Yeah, I do. I like Hilltop Hood,
Yeah.
Illy. Um, oh gosh, I like man, I'm trying to think now on the spot. But yeah, I like a lot of Australian hip hop. I like old school NWA, Q-Tip. I like new stuff that is newer and older, like Kendrick Lamar, and yeah, I'm a lover of all music because I think that if you well, like you said, good music, but if you have a broader openness to music, it's going to make you a better songwriter, a better musician, and influence you in different ways instead of just being stuck only playing the one type of music. So yeah, I do love hip hop and all different music.
I love Aussie hip hop. I just love the accent. I just love
Yeah,
hearing Aussies do hip hop. I remember when I first heard Hilltop, I was just like, it's so weird, man. It's hearing Aussie hip hop. It was so weird when I first heard it, but now
mm-hmm.
I fucking love it. It's just
Yeah,
same with Aussie death. Some Aussie death metal I love too, where you can hear them actually growling in an Aussie accent. It's real like, yeah, mate, go get your fuck, but it's growling. I love that shit too.
that's
Because the
funny.
Aussie accent's pretty funny.
It is.
It's you know what's strange? Have you ever been to America, Stephanie?
No, I haven't actually.
They're very astute over there. When I was there, not one person I met who I like randomly, like at a restaurant or out and about,
Mhm.
not one person picked that I was from Australia.
Really?
They're very astute over there. Even though I think it's the accent that stands out the most as
Oh,
not only
definitely.
unique but fucking annoying at times too. Like if you're overseas, you always know there's an Australian somewhere because you can just
Yeah,
hear
you can
"get
hear it a
fucked, you
mile away.
cunt."
Yeah.
It's somewhere in the distance. All right, we're going to wrap this up. We got 10 minutes to go. I've got to play another track, and I want to go through something else. What's next over the coming year? What are your hopes? Do you have a plan of attack for music?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely like I said, record my songs, and keep songwriting. I would love to collaborate with other artists and definitely to be out. I would really love to be out gigging, playing in a band. That's like my number one. If I could be out playing in a band, I would be stoked. So I hope that yeah, I hope that happens.
Nice, and I hope that happens as well. I'm just going to put this up in the chat here.
Yep.
Let's put art in this one. Give me a second. Art and tram. There we go. So I'm going to put a poll up for everybody. I want to get your advice, folks. So we've got a poll up, art or tram. And tomorrow on the channel we have Walk With Me happening as a premiere. It's all been edited. It's up on the channel ready to go. And I'm going to ask you guys, which thumbnail would you like to see on the show for tomorrow? Let's show you the choices. So this is art. This was found in the National Gallery of Victoria, or tram, which has this amazing like art out the front and with a tram in the background. So I've put a poll up, folks. Let me know which one you would like to see as the thumbnail, art or tram. So I'm leaving it in your hands, and I'll close the poll when we wrap up the show, art or tram, and then we'll sort that out. Okay, we have one final question that I ask every artist who comes here on the show, and that is, if someone was considering becoming creative, writing music, art, whatever it is, when would be the best time for them to start, in your opinion?
Well, I think, well, now, right? Because like if you haven't started, it's never too late to start. I mean, no matter how young you are, how old you are, I just think that there is a lot of people that are sometimes scared to change what they're doing, what they really want to do. And I just think you should go for it. You don't want to have any regrets, right? So I just think, yeah, start today and do it.
I agree 100%. Start today. That's why I ask that question to every single fucking person who comes on here, because you can never start too late. Because old dogs can learn tricks, apparently.
Exactly.
All right. So let's see this poll. I saw that Thomas says, I love how 10 people voted before the options. It's fucking brilliant. So it looks like art is winning, because the actual thumbnail I used was the tram one, but I'll give it till right at the end of the show and then I'll close it. So you've got a little bit more time, folks, to decide that. But yeah, tomorrow it is happening. Walk with me. I went out, I filmed art galleries and galleries around Melbourne. It's a beautiful show. I spent a lot of time on it. So hopefully you can come and join us for that. Also this weekend, back on Saturday, it's back again, the 1 hour song challenge. So you can come along. There's 4 genres up on my community tab. I think it's death metal. No, it's doom metal. I think it's a horror movie theme. What else? Thrash metal and something else. So go and pick the music that I have to make in the 1 hour song challenge this week. Boom. All right. Let's do this. Let's get out of here for today. I want to thank you for coming on, Stephanie, at such an early time and spending some time with me.
No problem. I've had a great time.
It's awesome. That's what I'm glad to hear. I've had a great time too. I love doing these things. I love getting to know people. Hi, Feisty Feather. I didn't see you there in the chat as well. Anything you'd like to say to your new adoring fans here before we get out of here?
Just thank you so much for all the support, because you guys have been really great. And yeah, I've been reading the chat. Sorry, I haven't been able to type, but I've been reading everything, and I really appreciate all the kind words. And I can't wait to join you guys in your channels and chats, and I'll see you guys around. So bye.
Boom, right on. All right, folks, lots of good stuff coming up today. I know Chris Lane Senior's back doing his show. He's back. I think was he here in the chat? I think he was here in the chat today. Did I say that, Chris? I think I did. But Chris is back today, so go and jump over and hang out with Chris. Tomorrow's the Human Centipede Entertainment Train kicking off with Valerie Batt, then me. There's probably somewhere in between there as well too. You've got Mr. Smith. You've got Paul Vault. Is Paul Vault even doing a show this week?
Oh, I hope he's okay.
I can't even believe he's back home and he's here in the chat, and he released a song and the guy just suffered a fucking heart attack. Paul Vault, what are you doing, you fucking wacko? But I don't know if he's doing a show tomorrow. But you got Laurie's Mishmash, you got Gary Hubbs, you got Leela. A huge day of entertainment tomorrow. It's all happening here on YouTube. We're going to go out today with a song called Brandon. What's this song? What's its vibe?
This is the first song I ever wrote, and it's a very sad song. It was actually inspired by a boy in the United States called Brandon Swartwood, who was bullied really badly at school, and to the point he actually committed suicide. So I actually felt very strongly about his story, and I just really wanted to create something, and that's how my first song ever was written. And now, it's a sad song, but it's an important song and an important issue. So I hope you like it.
I love the broad writing style. There's always something very different in there. I love that. Awesome stuff. Hi, Cubic Lover, Jerry Gomes, and Bye at the same time, because we're just about to leave. This is Brandon by Miss Stephanie Paige. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you today. Please stay on the line, because I'll say goodbye to you once the show's over. All right, rockers, you ready to go? Remember, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. We'll all rise together, stay awake, and let's fucking Oj. This is Brandon by Miss Stephanie. Boom.
Do you feel it slowly creeping in? stuff from the outside or stuff from within? Is the voice in your head telling you what to do? Or is your own conscience starting to get hold of you? Brennan wanted to escape the day so he could heal it away. He wanted something to numb the pain that he was feeling every day. He tried hard to put out the fire, but he was screaming inside. No one knew that the boy wasn't alive, 'cause they were sleeping when Brandon turned out the light. You live your life by words, you can only argue rules, then to use them against someone else's issues. Tell me what's in your head, what is going through your mind, to be so damn destructive you send shivers down my spine. Brandon wanted to escape the day so he could heal it away. He wanted something to numb the pain that he was feeling every day. He tried hard to put up the fight, but he was screaming inside. No one knew that the boy wasn't alive, 'cause they were sleeping when Brandon turned out the light. Oh, Brandon wanted to escape the day so he could heal it away. He wanted something to numb the pain that he was feeling every day. He tried hard to put out the fire, but he was screaming inside. No one knew that the boy wasn't alive, 'cause they were sleeping when Brandon turned out the light.
Thanks, folks, for hanging out with us. Want to thank DistroKid for their continued sponsorship of this show so I can do such cool artists. See you soon, that's Orange.